So welcome to Kion number 5. Don't know whether it's planned, but usually number 5, Gomitigata, Kion, they always seem to be, in my opinion, complicated, or appear to be complicated. But the thing that you need to practice is start to practice these movements, which were basically developed by our senior instructor to help with lots of combinations, lots of partner work, and the other way, and backwards and forwards and sideways. So making sure that you can actually do this movement, it will greatly help your understanding and your movement of number 5. There's also some locks in there which are can be difficult to see, but we'll try and break it down so that you know, it makes it obvious. Again, number 5, I realised that there's quite a few different ways to skin a rabbit with this, especially when you do the lock and the takedown. So I'm always of the opinion that it doesn't have to be textbook. If it works for you, then that's good. But if you can develop it in some way to make it easier for you, even if you only pick a few bits and pieces out of this, then that's what we're aiming for. So enjoy number 5. I always do. So a breakdown of Gahomny. Before I carry on, I have limited movement in my hips. So on the groundwork, after I've taken Sensei Keri to the floor, when you're down, you should be moving and pushing out. But at the moment, I can't quite make that move, so you'll have to forgive me. So on the breakdown, similar, we move to the side. Then we pull this hip across. So 1 and down. And this is actually a strike. Just dropping your weight, bending. Then up and into this back leg. Here. You can put the lock in. Down. Underneath. Should be able to take this hand away. Seishan, Tatai Seishan. Not just this knee, but both. And stop. Then I want to slip this hand where my knee is. Stretch it out and down. I need to move this foot out, but with the sliding action and the back foot. So I'm away from this foot, or it can roll over and kick. So you have to be very careful of that back foot. And up. So you can either take the neck. Most of you realise this is not just the neck, but it was quite a joke with my instructors that you had 5 necks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Your ankle and your wrists here, and you go deep in. Or grab. Or I've got to be careful because Sensei Kerry is damaged. But unfortunately, he's damaged this thumb and this finger, so I don't want to really. But here, and you into the nerve. But try not to leave this up as you go in. Because when I drop, it will reflect in his arm. Then, lung. And roll. Shouldn't be grabbing both. There's no point. This is the one. This is sasai. Supporting. Like you support, basai. So, roll, support, and using shito, as well as this, to take down. Also, if you can, try and put lock. And you keep the lock on, keep the lock on, keep the lock on, until you get the next lock on, before you go down. Going down, anchor this foot. Best way to anchor the foot is basically kick him in the shoulder blade to win them. Then take your tatai seishan, both knees, and drop. And shito. Slide in, because if I take this away, you can see it relax. So I need to just slide it in between so I don't take my knee away. Drop. Keep it, stretch it, and down. And move this foot away, and then push out. This one, leg comes up. If you can lift your coccyx off the floor, it takes the pressure off your back. So all the pressure that's been done here, actioned here, if you drop your back, it puts all the pressure into your spine. So if you lift, it alleviates it. It's less painful. This is the foot I need to take into consideration. So when I go out, I move and I push. Goes over. Okay. So here, you'll be doing this with a hakimak. So if you can use your sokoto and you reach, roll over. Sokoto, live foot. Remember, you've got your hakimak. Round. If you stand up, you will fall over. So when you stand up, spiral to face. Then off. So those are the main points for Kihon Committee number 5. But to the side, 1, 2. Stop there. 3, 4, 5. So if I do it without my hands, move to the side, back foot, front foot, in, cross again, over. So you can see the importance of this movement. If you're teaching, brown belts for this, Then imagine, say to them, just imagine being in the snow and you're doing fan shapes in the snow. Fan shape. Fan shape. Then it gives them a pictorial, an imaginary. They can imagine the move. They can imagine drawing that fan in the snow. But this is the way to move your body. Yeah? Back foot. Front foot. Indeed. Fan. Fan. The lock. The lock is always with the little finger. Wherever the little finger points, that is where the lock will be. So, here. No need to grab really. Here, keep the weight down. Yeah, when you roll it, don't take this hand away. Leave it to the split second and make sure the next lock's on. Roll and point to the floor. That's where they need to go. Too many people leave it up in the air and they're trying to get them down. Take and point to the floor. So just make sure that you get used to taking this hand away and not keeping hold of it while you go down. You need to roll, but get a sneaky stow into the neck. Not officially, but it gives you an idea that you've got to take this hand away. You know, not relying on it, grabbing the hand and pushing, but just to roll and stow, straight in, stow, underneath, stretch him, down. You should be able to take your hands away and still have the lock, and it should not be able to move. Then move out and away. So the last move, I'm struggling with lowering my body enough and the mobility to push out and push away. And Sensei Kerry will be doing the lock and showing the foot movement to move away. Decided as a team that was better than me trying to struggle. So forgive me.
So from Uke's point of view for the attacks, quite straightforward really. A straight linear Jodan and then a Chudan punch. It's after that it starts getting more complicated. Hopefully the cameras and the different angles will pick up all the complexities. But as Sensei mentioned, there's lots of action going on with the wrist. Whether it's taking the little fingers, whether it's taking the thumb, whether it's taking the hand. Different methods, but the idea is to control the wrist. Again, hopefully you'll see it on the multiple angles, but there is quite a pronounced lock into the elbow using Tori's elbow. Be careful if you're going quickly with this and you're new to it. It's quite jarred, it's quite a powerful technique. You could easily dislocate or break somebody's elbow with it. So be a little bit careful, but be aware that there is the lock. If you have mats, obviously it's a good way to train. It saves hitting the hard floor. But there is something to be said for a solid floor, because you find out if you're falling as well as you can. No impact on the floor is going to be pleasant, but there's ways of mitigating it. General rule of thumb, if you're being thrown, the foot that's nearest to Tori, use that to help you to go to the floor. General rule of thumb. There's times when it doesn't work, but the nearest foot to Tori is the way to do it. And you're trying to multiple points of contact. So as you go to the floor, try and hit the calf, the knee, thigh, hip, roll up the back, finally the shoulder. Try not to hit the floor in one hit. Try and multiple points and roll. Sensei went into what happens when you're on the floor. These locks are very powerful, very, very powerful. So if you can, arch your back, raise your foot, takes the pressure out of the back. And then roll over and circle the foot. Imagine wearing a hackamore. So otherwise you would get your feet caught up in the hackamore. So there's a lot to this. The attacks are quite straightforward, but what you need to do to get to the floor, to protect yourself when you're on the floor, is quite complex. And feedback. Have you got this elbow lock? Have you got these wrist locks? Are you locked up in this position? Is the knee controlling you? Is the hand controlling you? So there's lots of information you can feed back to help improve the techniques.
So to conclude with number 5, it is complex, but the more you break it down and just work on one small piece at a time. Don't try and do it all in one go. Try and break it down into small bites. Very similar to Koshanku. If you try and learn Koshanku all in one go, it's too much. So number 5 is very, very similar. Just break it down to small parts. And I strongly advise trying to just do this, not with the foot, but with the body and the hip. Body and the hip, body and the hip. It makes number 5 a hell of a lot easier and smoother. The locks, you really need to work with your partner with that. But again, don't put too much of a lock on it, but just feel that you've got them in control. Change into control. Yeah? Deep. Roll. So take time and just pick one part at a time until you've ingrained that muscle memory into your brain. All right, so don't do it all in one because it'll be a waste. Small pieces. Thank you. Okay, welcome. Obviously, my club is called Chubu, which Sensei Takamizawa christened many, many years ago. We're based in King's Standing in Birmingham. We also have Saturday sessions in West Bromwich. Kerry does train with me. Kerry has done Wado for a long time, but some years ago, Kerry moved out of the area, moved down towards Evesham. And it's physically impossible to do that journey every club night. it would be what, 40, 50 miles?
100 mile round trip.
100 mile round trip. So Sensei Kerry found another club, not Waddo, but a different style. But he still comes to do these videos with me, and also on Saturdays makes the special journey up to train with us. So it's a good opportunity for Kerry to just explain the club where he trains. So over to Kerry.
Yeah, as Sensei mentioned, trained with him for many years, but moved down to Worcestershire. Looked around at different clubs, and the one that I found that was teaching really high standard and really good karate was different to Waddo, but you eventually reach the stage where the differences get smaller and smaller, and there's more commonality than differences. So I just enjoy the training, certainly training with Sensei and my current Sensei Brisbane up in Evesham. And to do this, and to me now it's just karate and martial arts. So if you've got a good Sensei, train with them, stick with them. But don't get too precious about styles and systems and different names and this, that and the other. When it boils down to it in the end, it's martial arts and karate. And you know, if you can find something good in what you're doing, or find something good in another style, another system, then take it and bring it on board. And you never know, you might end up sort of developing your own system and your own ideas in the end, which is the whole system of Shuhari, that there's 3 stages of learning. So hoping you're enjoying these videos. We're putting a link to Chubu Karate, Shinkido Karate, and a Facebook page that we've created. You'll find those in the description box at the bottom of this video. So hopefully you can go and have a little look around, and especially with the Facebook page, if you wish to join, it'd be great to have you on board. So hope to see you again soon.